biggest issue of 2021. Sadly, Corona-19 will be the first one to come up to you and me. So what's some words that come mind related to COVID-19? Social distancing, pandemic, isolation, or vaccination? But there's one important one missing. That's right, it's a mask. Living in 2021, mask is now necessary for us. When we go to school, when we go to work, when we go shopping, even when we play musical instruments. Do you remember the first time you wore a mask? It's so uncomfortable. It feels like it's hard to breathe. But look at us now. We pack a mask when we go outside anytime, anywhere. And I also put a spare mask in my car or my bag. By the way, do you know how many masks are getting thrown away in 1 month on the entire planet? According to American Chemistry Society, there's 129 billion masks that get thrown away in 1 month. 129 billion. According to another site like Worldometer, world's population in 2020 and 2021 is 7.7 billion. By that conclude, there's about 17 masks that are getting thrown away by one person in the 1 month. So do you know how masks are getting thrown away and how they're disposed of? You're good at throwing them to trash can, of course. I'm pretty sure that you're good at throwing them to trash can. But in the recent news or social media, you might have seen what happened to the mask that wasn't discarded properly. They were drenched in water, buried in sand, and hanging from branches. I'm worried about the corona infection due to the discarded mask, but there is a bigger problem. First, the main ingredient of a disposable mask is polygraphic plastic, which is used to make a bottle lid. So did you know if you dispose the mask and incinerate them, makes fine dust. And when they're buried, they don't rot for hundreds of years, and they rot and break down into microplastic less than 5 millimeters. Masks that are already becoming microplastic is found all around the globe, including France and Hong Kong. It's already happening. It's a situation where not only the creature that lives in the ocean, but our tables come up. The masks we throw away are absorbed in the world, in the ecosystem that we live in. Another thing that we need to know is that there's animals suffering from abandoned masks. In July, the National Association for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals released a photo of a seagull with its legs tied to the mask gearing. At the time of discovery, the seagull had their feet wrapped in mask straps. The area that was tied to the mask straps were severely swollen, and the seagulls were unable to fly and were just lying and hanging on the floor. In addition, an autopsy of a penguin found dead in beach in Zucay, Brazil, in September showed an adult mask in its belly. According to the expert, the hungry penguin died swallowing a mask. And the picture of a Phrygian falcon taken by a wildlife photographer, Steve Cipolli, off the coast of Yorkshire, England, showed a Phrygian falcon flying with mask claws, mistaking them for food. In addition, disposable masks and gloves and face shields are easily found in the ocean. So, what do we do now? Should we not wear disposable masks that create environmental pollutions and harm the animals? Should we only use cloth masks? But you don't campfire out fear just because there might be a fire in your backyard. You don't eat Tylenol and when you have a fever just because it has a little side effect. That's right. No principle can be perfect for everyone. We're always in that situation. We have to find a way to reveal the responsibilities accordingly, so if there's a problem, there might be a solution. Just as in a campfire, you follow safety rules and make sure the fire isn't too big. Just as when you check the dose of how much you eat when you're eating Tylenol, the mask must also be discarded correctly. So, how do you throw away a mask correctly or properly? That is, first, throw them into a trash bin or trash can. That's easy, right? That's right. This is how we can all do it. It's not hard and you don't have to work hard. To the mountains, to the sea, so that the mask can go anywhere. So that our animals don't mistake them for food. You have to cut the mask earrings, fold them well, and throw them as a waste. The second is to be interested. Since the mask is made out of plastic, fine dust, and microplastic, when it's discarded, I say it releases sticks. This is probably an unalterable chemical principle. But incineration through high temperature decomposition can reduce the amount of toxic gases. Of course, you can't do this by yourself, but at least the raw material against the mask. Living in 2021, we have changed our daily lives due to the corona, but we're adapting and overcoming all the changes. But we shouldn't think that we can just live our daily life because we're doing that. We have to live a responsible life. For the animals that we share the world with, and for our child and kids that we borrow this world from. I'd like to tell you today that we have to feel responsible, that we think it might not be a big deal, but which is actually a big deal. I'd like to conclude this speech with the hope that people live more responsibly and think, since wearing a mask is important, discarding them properly is also as much as important as it is. Thank you for listening to my speech. Thank you.